Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff here again. This time I'm going to be jumping on another contest. Not my own, by the way. I have a contest going on if you want to jump on board. Got to the end of September. Check it out, video a couple days ago. But anyway, this was for Beatle Dustino, his 1 in 7 contest. Anyway, it is a contest that is also running through to the end of September. So you got a little bit of time to jump on board this one. But anyway, 7 questions we're going to go through real quick. Yeah. I'm just not going to waste much time. We'll have a link below to the actual video. You can get all the rules, see all the examples all on your own. But for now, to keep this short, we're going to jump right into this one. Basically, I'm just going to, let's see what we get here. Oh, yeah, let's see. All right, he wants to show a record that got you into music. Now, as a kid, I've told this story a lot if you've watched my channel for any length of time. As a kid, I used to listen to a bunch of singles. I had a little portable record player I carry around. Had a bunch of singles, mostly. I don't think I even had any LPs, no real albums. It was just, you know, a kid with his singles. And I had stuff from the times. This would have been the 70s. I had the Bee Gees. I had Andy Gibb. Had all that smooth, disco-y fun of the day. Had Knock on Wood. I had pop music by M. Still love that song to this day. Would love to probably get that album at some point. Just all the stuff that my childhood had. I think the only albums we had in our house, probably not even mine, only albums we had in the house is we had the Disney Halloween sound effects. Used to love that all the time as a kid. Had another Monster sound effects. Had a lot of sound effects albums. Monster sound effects albums. Had Monster Mash on it and some other songs and some other stuff. My brother's was my older brother, my oldest brother. I'm the youngest of 3. My oldest brother was big into music. So never really listened to his, but he had like the K-Tel type stuff. And he had that one box set collection that had all the classics from back in the 50s and 60s. You know, it had Snoopy and Red Baron or whatever. It had Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Polka Dot Bikini, My Ding-a-Ling, Flying Purple People Eater, Beep Beep, all those funny type songs. Hello Mudda, Hello Fada, stuff like that. So that was around the house. But when it came to me, the music album, first album I ever purchased as a teen, not even a teen, first album I ever purchased when I was not even quite 12 probably, that got me into music in the sense of buying music for myself and buying full records was Kiss Love Gun. I've told this 100 times before. You've probably seen it if you've seen my channel. This is where it started for me getting into rock and roll and getting into actually purchasing albums on my, you know, for myself rather than just having singles. So this is the one that got me started as a preteen, getting into music in a little more serious manner than just having a bunch of singles. So there you go. Now, the next one has got you into your favorite band, an album that got you into your favorite band. Now, I could say that, Kiss, one of my favorite bands. Have a lot of favorite bands. Decided to go with not showing the same album twice. I'm going with Striper, Yellow and Black Attack. Now, I admit, so this came out in '84. When it came out, I didn't even jump on it. I was back in those days, I was buying anything that had hair and fancy costumes. I mean, I just was buying blindly based on looks. And I opened this up and I saw the picture, and by looks, this would have been, I would have pounced on this, but I didn't. Basically, because right here in the corner, special thanks, #1, Jesus Christ the Boss Man. Now, I was born and raised pretty much in the church. Was always a good kid. Never really, you know, no vices. Never got into drinking or drugs or any of that. I was always a clean kid. The only vice, if you want to call it that, was that I listened to heavy metal. That was something a little different than most church kids did. But I was a church kid. I was in the church group, church youth group. I was active in that. I played church softball. I did all that stuff. I was a good kid, but I listened to heavy metal. But I also was, at times, people tried to say, you should listen to this Christian rock, you know. And I'd check it out, and none of it ever appealed to me. Nothing was ever even close to the kind of rock and roll I was listening to. It was just like, pfft. So anything that came across as being Christian music, I just poo-pooed the idea. So I did not buy this when it came out, based solely on that. It was only, I don't even know why, a couple months later or whatever, somewhere in that same first year, or maybe even the next year, I bought this album, and it's been no turning back since. They are so different than any other band of their predecessors when it comes to the kind of music I was listening to in 1984 when this came out. So yeah, they are the ones that kicked the door in for a lot of people, and this is what started it. Still a big fan to this day, and they are still going strong with some of their greatest music. Now, next one is a record that got you back into collecting. Now, I've been a collector of music since the 80s. Got out of vinyl in the 90s. Been a CD collector all this time. So I've always been a collector, but I'm taking this one to look at more of, got me back into collecting vinyl, because that's going to be the newest thing in my life. Been back into vinyl since 2017. And so what was it that really got me back into it? I had been toying with the idea. I kept seeing things come out. And then a friend of mine was talking about how the Book of Souls by Iron Maiden, the vinyl pressing sounded so much better than like the CD pressing. He said it's a whole new experience. When he bought this, he was like, he put it on and cranked it up. He said the depth, the separation, he just was ranting and raving about how much better the vinyl experience was for this album. So I went out and bought this album and a record player, and I probably got some other records too, but this was one of the very first ones that started me back into vinyl record, was just to check out the differences of what I might be missing. And then from here started buying 2 or 3, this was one of the earliest ones back in the day, was buying this. I still had a handful of vinyl records in my collection. That Striper album, this literally is the one I bought in 1984. It's never, I've kept this forever because it never came out on CD. And so I had maybe 10, 15 albums in my collection that had never come out on CD that I thought I better keep the vinyl. But I didn't really have a record player to listen to them to anymore. So this has been carried on. This is my original 1984. And then this would have been one of the very first albums that got me back into collecting records. So there you go. Next up, a box set that blew you away. Kings of the Wild Frontier by Adam and the Ants. This box set, I believe, actually came out before I got... Did it come out before I got back into vinyl records? 2016, yes. I saw this. It just was filled with goodies. I don't want to open up all of it. There's a thing on here that... This is one of my favorite albums. So anything that's dedicated to this, here you go. It's going to blow me away. I saw the stuff that was in here. And the thing that was really the most impressive is it's got the live video concert in here on DVD, which back in the day was only on VHS, and it cost like $80. As a kid, I couldn't afford it. So and I've seen bootlegs. I have bootleg CDRs, DVDRs, I guess. And so to have an official release of the live concert from that day was great. But then to have all these extra things and books and all that, this blew me away because it has so much great stuff from an era of his music that I was so enamored with. So yeah, when this came out in 2016, I almost wanted to buy it, even though I wasn't into the vinyl side of things. All the extra CDs and DVD stuff was really my desire. So when I got back into buying vinyl records, I put this on my wish list on Amazon, and one day, because this was over $100, I forget, $100 and something, and I was watching it, and then one day somebody sold one in mint condition for $35, and it's mine. Perfect condition. All right, next up, a favorite album, favorite band, the album that has been underrated, underappreciated, or even despised. Is what it is. I like The Elder. When it came out, it's like, oh, Peter Criss is gone. They got this new drummer. He's got this big double bass kid. He looks like this amazing drummer. And then you put out this. So I could see, and even I understand Eric Carr was kind of like, what am I doing? I joined this rock band to put out this. It is different, but the thing is, if you accept it for what it is, I appreciate it. It's got some great songs on it. Now, most people hate this album. They still poo-poo the album, but I find that now, years later, when you say that, you don't know what you're going to get. A lot of people end up saying, yeah, I really like The Elder. Back in the day, not so much, and there are still some people that are really hateful towards it, but I find that it's more appreciated now than it probably used to be, so I still like it for what it is. All right, where's up here? Stuff that got, so this is stuff that was gifted to you, that got you, that you didn't know if you'd like, that got you into stuff that you would like to check out more of, or probably have checked out more of. Now, a while back, more than a year ago, I should have looked at the date. I did a video on this, but some VCLT was sent to me by Jason over at Jason Skills. And he from Canada, and he's into a lot of stuff, and he has his own little record label and does a lot of ambient stuff. And he sent me some of the stuff, and I told him, I can't even read this, Robert T. It's kind of a hard read there. It's a beautiful cassette, but I'm just like, this stuff is awesome because it's like, well, it's some of it's noise, some of it's industrial feeling, but this is like almost soundtrack material. It's like just beautiful, spacey soundtrack type stuff. So he sent me this stuff, and I really appreciated the stuff he's got. And so I still check out his stuff on Bandcamp and things like that when he releases new things. And he gave me a CD, which I didn't pull that, but and then he gave me this, which is an older compilation thing. But it's just some cool stuff because, you know, the kind of ambient, I don't listen to a lot of ambient stuff. I listen to metal, more of a metal industrial, but a lot of this other stuff, you know, I don't like just the total flat out noise, but some of this other stuff, which is instrumental and or, you know, just kind of just cool spacey ambient type stuff, I've really appreciated. So yeah, that's some great stuff that I didn't know how it would go over, but have really enjoyed it and put it in from time to time. And then last but not least, a live album from a band that you've seen the most, and we're back to Kiss. And I pulled this particular live album that came out like a year or so ago because it is live in Virginia Beach 2004, which was a concert I was actually at, because I am in Virginia Beach, and I was there in 2004, moved back to Virginia Beach in 2002, have seen Kiss probably 4 or more times in the past 20 years I've been back in Virginia Beach, probably more. I saw him in 2004. I think I took my son to see him in 2008. I probably saw him in took my son in 2012, but I'm pretty sure I saw him in like 2000. They come here like every 2 to 4 years. I think I saw him in 2008 by myself. Took my son in 2012. Went with some other friends in 2016. Took my wife to see them in 2018, the End of the Road tour that wasn't the End of the Road. So yeah, 4, 5, 6 times. I don't know how many times. I see them all the time when they come through. And I don't think they're coming through for this last tour. I have to double check. I don't think they are, but there you go. Live Virginia Beach, I was there. Great stuff. So there you go. Check out the contest. Link below. Jump on board. You got some time. I will see you later. Rock on and rock hard.